You ready? Okay. Studies show that every day, 6% of the women in the U.S. wake up and they know that today their plans are to have sex in an alley, hotel room, or the back of some man's car. They also know that not only are they not in a relationship with these men, but they only want one thing, and that one thing is sex. Whether the reason be that this woman needs to take care of her kids or put herself through college, prostitution is not the right way to get money. A lot of women who are doing this, like they're doing it for drugs and to get money for like the wrong way, so I feel like prostitution, like, it shouldn't be legal whatsoever. So here's a video to show you.
One year ago, I began interviewing a group of prostitutes living in an abandoned truck yard in Hunts Point. This is their story, the Yard Blues.
It's an area of our borough well known for prostitution, and driving through the streets of Hunts Point, you can't miss them. On any corner, on any given day, you'll find a woman willing to sell her body. But even when they're in the streets surrounded by people, they are alone. They're tired of being alone. They hate to be alone.
It's terrible. Because I'm so alone.
But who is she? And why does she do it? Last summer, we met Patricia, 44 years old, in and out of prison for drugs and prostitution for more than half her life. She calls the front of this truck home.
Watching the trucks, because the guys around here, they strip everything, you know, they take parts and shit off the trucks. So they turn around and they asked us to watch it. Well, they asked me to watch it. So that's how I got allowed to stay here.
But Patricia does not live here by herself. This lot may look like a junkyard, but inside these trucks live a small group of prostitutes who admit to selling their bodies mainly to buy drugs. Hunts Point has a reputation for drugs and prostitution, a neighborhood isolated between the Bruckner Expressway, the Bronx River, and the East River, home to industry like the New York City Terminal Market and the Fulton Fish Market. Day and night, women are soliciting customers on its streets. Sarah sleeps in this flatbed with her partner, a dog she calls my nigger, and her cat. Sarah says her aunt first encouraged her to sell her body when she was just 17.
I was just learning my aunt was teaching me how to do it.
Your aunt told you how to do it?
Yeah.
What did she tell you about it?
How to just do and the prices and everything and where to go and everything. She taught me that.
Now 30, she says prostitution isn't something she set out to do with her life. It's a way to make money to support her addiction.
Prostitution should stay legal and should not be debated on whether it should change because it ruins families, contradicts religious books, and leads to domestic violence, and helps people with their drug addictions. The oldest profession, they say, well, the oldest profession needs to end now. Prostitution has been going on for centuries. It began in the 1800s, what some would refer to as the Victorian era. Prostitution means when a woman offers sex for money. This means that they would have to please a man to their standards for the most amount of money possible. In the past, it has not been such a serious topic, but because of today, in 2011, it's become more popular and people are wondering why it should stay legal. Well, I have those reasons. Prostitution contradicts the religious books. They say that God wants everyone to stay celibate until marriage, and I'm sure that these women are not marrying these men just to have intercourse with them every day. Another reason I feel so strongly about prostitution saying illegal is because sometimes it leads to domestic violence. Most women are seeking to escape from poverty, violence, and lack of opportunities. But once they are under control of these pimps, traffickers, and dons, they are seasoned into prostitution by physical and sexual violence. This means that after a while, the women can really never get out of it because prostitution becomes an addiction. And the money and being able to get what they want, like, they just can't stop. Once they get in, if they get into the hands of the wrong person, like this, it's like never ending. It's like, and some prostitutes are saying that like it feels like they're there forever. After getting away from prostitution, some survivors often say that they felt like they were escaping for rape because they were never really into it. They just wanted to do it for money.
It's Friday night in Rio, and Gabriela Leite is starting her rounds, meeting friends, catching up, and handing out hundreds of condoms to the prostitutes around Tiradentes Square, one of the city's red light districts. Wherever she goes, there are lively conversations about sex, men, and rights.
We have made a lot of progress in having our rights recognized. We can now get into a fight with the guys and say, I'm not doing it.
Once a prostitute herself, Gabriela Leite formed her advocacy group, La Vida, more than 20 years ago. She's lost friends to AIDS, often infected, she says, by the men who pay them for sex. But the women getting ready tonight are on the front line of Brazil's campaign against the disease.
What we saw, I tell them, no, I'm not going to do it without a condom. And they say, I'll go find someone else. Some men, all they think about is themselves, not how they can harm so many people.
Prostitution is legal in Brazil, and hundreds of women work the streets and clubs around Copacabana Beach. While the overall number of HIV-positive people is falling here, it's rising among women. Valkyria is a prostitute.
So, as you can see, like in Brazil, where prostitution is legal, it's not like the ideal situation as like many people think about it. Like AIDS is spreading among women because of like the high amount of prostitution there, and if you can see now what it is to have it, it's really not as good as people are thinking. It's it's not an ideal situation. Lastly, prostitution should be kept illegal because it ruins families. Prostitution can ruin families in two ways. Not only can it spread an STI into a family, which is a major example of infidelity, but it also but it also it deals with a big problem because once an STD is spread into a family, it shows not only was the person who cheating, but now they have an STD in the family. This shows a very big problem, and it ruins a lot. Prostitution creates so many unneeded problems that could easily be avoided. These problems could go away without saying prostitution should be legal. I think that this will become less and less common if this law would stay on. Prostitution ruins families, contradicts the religious book, and sometimes leads to abuse. How can you act on this problem? Think about when people joke around and say dumb whores and hookers and stuff. You should go up to them and say it's not right because these dumb whores and hookers feel as though they're obligated to do this as their job.
You just called them dumb whores and hookers.
No, I didn't. I said people.
Right? Good.
Yeah,
Good
really.
job. It's really